going through and taking a look at some things. And I noticed something very interesting today, and that as I look into my budget, I really start to get a sense of who I've been. And I said who I've been because um, everything's changing now that I have a budget, just in the way I see things. It's kind of opened my eyes up to uh, what I've been valuing and devaluing, and how I see other people valuing me. Um, you know, I've never really got to that point before, and really truly trying to examine, well, what do I think of people thinking of me? And so, as I began to look at how much money I make and what I'm trying to do with this website, I started thinking about salary and how much I make and what I wear and where I work, what I drive, and how do I value those things, and how do I really feel about other people valuing those things? Because I think that affects our budget. The way we want to be valued and seen by other people, and the impression that we want to give off. One of the things I came to the realization of is that it really doesn't matter what other people think. Salary, for instance, is for a lot of people, they don't want to discuss it, they don't want to share it. It really, really matters to them, and I just don't see the point of that anymore. And when you think about it, if you're in the public sector, your salary is pretty much well known. People can research it and go online and look and see how much you make. Whether you're a senator or you're a social worker. People can know how much you make, and it's not a big deal when you're in the work for the government. But when you're in the private sector, whoa, somebody knowing how much you make it's a big deal. And then when you talk to people, whether it's your friends, your family, your coworkers, or complete strangers, there's different sides to that. So with your family, you might share your how much your bills are and what you make and how much your car note is. But sometimes we wouldn't dare share that with other people, and I think it's not just for so-called security purposes and whatnot, because plenty of people share what they make and share how they get their earnings, and security is not such a big deal, and I just find it interesting that we're so concerned about the external, we do damage to our internal. And what I mean by that is, I'm so worried about what Susie or John or James is going to say about me at work, that, I got to wear nothing but the best. I have 50 million ties. I have a lot of ties, if I can show you this. I don't know if you can really see that. But I have a lot of ties, and I don't wear not one of them anymore. Yet I spent all this money on these ties. These ties are like 40, 50 bucks a piece, 30 bucks, some 10, some 15, varying prices. But if I could go back and sell all these for the retail price I paid for them, man, the amount of money I would have. But another thing that I've been realizing is that it really isn't about how much you make. It really is about how much you get to keep, how much you get to bring home. My base is 72K a year, right? So that kind of tells you what I'm working with. But my whole deal is not to necessarily have to make more. It's to reduce my liabilities. That I have direct control over. A lot of people go to their boss, I want a raise, I need a raise. I can understand you get a raise for your performance, you're doing well, but if you really want a raise, cut down some of your liabilities. Look at where you rent. How much is your rent, My goal is to keep 50% of whatever I make, take home, bottom line, because that keeps me at a comfortable pace. I can quickly build my nest egg. I can quickly build um, the monies that I need for an emergency fund. I can quickly pay off debt, which I'm in the process of doing, and and I have that leverage of that extra 50% to put towards that debt I've got myself into. And I think that most don't even save. I think they say that only most Americans only save less than 5%, if that. So I want to be different in that aspect. I want to put my money to good use, and as I go through this budgeting process, I want to really make sure that I focus on the right things. That I'm not so worried about the external and what people think, what they see I drive, whatever. In fact, I drive a Pontiac Sunfire, 2005, paid for. My wife has a Ford Escort, and it's a 1998. Under 100,000 miles, paid for. Right? I'm really not into buying brand new cars because they're a really bad investment. I try to, be wise about my spending. And then there's some areas I haven't been so wise about. Credit cards are one of them. Fortunately, I'm not, $10,000, $9,000 in credit card debt. I never got that to that extent, and I always try to keep a handle on those things. Recently I've done some adjusting. I've moved. I've got a new job now in the Midwest, and I'm really happy with where I am in life. It's just about bringing down those liabilities and maximizing my income from the different income streams that I have, and that I'm in the middle of producing. So, I just want to give me your feedback, your thoughts. What do you think about sharing income and what people know that you make? Why is it a big deal for you? I understand people say, it's none of their business. It's, a lot of other things. But really, when you look into it, when you look at yourself, and what do you think? Is it because you don't make enough? Or is it because you make so much? Are you afraid people are going to ask you for money? Are you afraid that people are going to say, oh, you make more than me, so we can't be friends? What are your motivations for the things you do, for what's in your budget, and the way you manage your money? And here's one last question for you. If you were the CFO of your own company, would you fire you? Will you be satisfied with the way you've been handling your money, or would you be unsatisfied? Would you fire you day one? If you would fire yourself, if you look at the way you've been handling money over the past 10 years, and you would fire yourself, then that might mean you need to make some changes. And if I look at myself, I would say, you're that close to being fired, if I really be honest with myself. So, it's time to make some changes, time to do some things differently, and be positive and passionate about what we do, because, we're going to most people encounter over $1 million in their lifetime, in the way they've managed money. And what do you have for it, 72K, what do I have for it? So, that's that. It's a wrap. Good night.